And next, we'll join Dr. Allison to hear all about her work to protect snakes in the wild.
Hi, I'm Allison Sacerdoti-Villette, and I am the curator of herpetology here at Peggy Notebart Nature Museum. And today we've got Gertie. Gertie is a Chicago garter snake. She's a subspecies of common garter snake that we have in our Chicago region. And this is really one of the most common species that you would encounter if you were out in either natural areas or even some urban and suburban areas here in Chicago. Garter snakes are really important ecologically. They are in the middle of the food web. They're important predators of a variety of amphibians, invertebrates. They'll eat soil arthropods, they'll eat earthworms, but they also serve as food for birds of prey and for wading birds. You'll often see hawks swoop down and grab them out of fields, or herons grab them as they're hunting along the edges of wetland environments. So we have about 38 species of snakes that live in Illinois, and only a subset of those live in the Chicago region. Garter snakes are really one of the more common ones that we'll see. They're pretty well adapted to a variety of habitats in our area. They like grassland habitats, but you'll also find them in open woodlands, sunning in places where there are little gaps in the tree canopy. They hunt along wetlands where they can find a lot of amphibians as well as small minnows that they can eat. We tell Chicago garter snakes apart from the common garter snake because they have these little breaks in the stripe that goes along the side of their body. Garter snakes are pretty well adapted to living in close quarters with humans. In the Chicago area, a lot of our garter snakes are found around old railroad embankments. This time of year, they're heading back into their hibernaculum as our conditions get colder and frost starts to set in. Now, Gertie came to us because she had an injury. She was actually caught in a piece of plastic mesh that was put down along the edge of a road to keep the soil from eroding. And it was caught right here around her middle, and it was cutting into her. And we brought her to a vet, and the veterinarian was able to cut it off of her, and we were able to give her medication to help it heal up. But a lot of snakes are not so lucky. For our native snakes and for snakes worldwide, the biggest threat to their conservation is habitat loss. When they lose their habitat, they have to go into places that are maybe not as suitable as what they would like. And so snakes encounter roads, snakes encounter predators like raccoons that become more numerous around human settlement, and they have a lot of threats to deal with. In terms of other threats to snakes, we have just general misunderstanding. You could see that Gertie's not trying to bite me. She did musk a little bit because she's being defensive. She's a wild-caught snake that had an injury, and so she's becoming a little bit more adapted to people. But generally, if you walk up upon a snake outdoors in habitat, they're going to feel afraid of us. So they're going to do things like display behaviors to try to scare us away because they feel threatened by our presence. So in terms of addressing the conservation threat of habitat loss, a lot of land managers like the Forest Preserve District and state parks and Department of Natural Resources try to actively restore habitat for a variety of species. We do work here at the Nature Museum with smooth green snakes. Smooth green snakes occur in a lot of the same habitats that garter snakes do. They use a lot of grassland and wetland habitats, but they're much smaller. They're bright green. They don't have any stripes. They're much harder to see than a garter snake, so you're far less likely to encounter one when you're walking along. So there are about 3,800 species of snakes in the world, and about 15 to 20% of those species are considered threatened and their populations are declining. So it's really important that we do what we can to conserve these species locally. We give them the respect they deserve. They're part of our natural ecosystem. They, again, are food for other species and they're important predators that keep pest populations down so that they provide a service to humans. But generally, this is their home. They have the right to be here just like we do. And so it's important that we keep a safe distance from them, that we don't harass them, and that we really appreciate what they have to offer us in terms of their ecology and really fascinating natural history. They're wonderful to learn about, beautiful to watch, and the more I learn about them, the more I want to learn about them. You can always learn new things by going out and observing species in nature. You just have to make sure you're doing that in a respectful way so that they don't feel threatened and we're not harming them.
Thank you, Dr. Allison, for all that information. Snakes are truly fascinating creatures. Be sure to leave any questions you have for our scientists in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed our program this evening, and let's say thank you to all our snake friends and our scientists who shared all this wonderful information. We also want to say thank you again to our sponsor, Rose Pest Solutions. Thank you for joining us at Supper with the Snakes, and have a happy and safe Halloween.